Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be back home and back filming. I have been on vacation, also had my best friend visit. So if you've been noticing that my uploads are a little more sporadic, that is why. I am going to be sharing at the end of this week a vlog from my whole month of June. There was a lot going on. So it's just nice to just sit down and film. And when I was contemplating what I wanted to do today, I got in my brain an idea for a just really light, fresh, summery makeup look. And I've been inspired by this lip color. So it's going to be light, easy, but I'm going to show you how to do that with a little bit of color. So many times when you see these looks, it's just throwing bronzer through your crease, and you can do that, but I just wanted to bring you something different. So let's get started. I'm gonna start off with the Elizabeth Mott Thank Me Later eyeshadow primer. This was one of the items that I took on my trip. I went to Tennessee where it was very hot and humid, so I was able to give this a really good test, and I'm happy to say it performed very well. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you a light, fresh, easy look, but with a little bit of color. And I decided to pull out this palette. This is by Persona, and this is her Identity 2 palette. And her first one was much more neutral, and this one just has lots of fun colors. We're gonna keep it simple though today, but this is the shade that I just have in my mind that I want to do for this look. So we're going to be basically using these three right here. I'm going to start off, this is just a matte cream shade, and I'm going to try for this look also to use just minimal number of brushes. So we're going to make this really easy. I'm going to go in with the BK Beauty 206 brush. This is just kind of a slightly flat but still a little fluffy brush. I'm going to use a little bit of that shade. It's called Kind. And by the way, I love the names of these shadows in this palette. Okay, so I put that all under the brow bone, and now I'm going to bring a little bit of this through the crease just to help kind of dilute this next shade that we're going to be using, because these are pretty pigmented. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a really fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M504, and now we're going to go in with this shade right here. It's called Passionate, and this is like, I think, the perfect mix between kind of a corally, peachy pink, but it just has a little bit of some neutral tones to it too, but it does come off as just a really nice warm pink, and I'm just very, very lightly putting this all through the crease, blending up towards the brow bone there, starting in the outer corner and then blending up towards the brow bone. Very light pressure because I don't want too much intensity yet. We're going to build on this in a moment. Okay, now we're going to switch back to that BK Beauty 206. We're going to go in with more of Passionate. And now we are really going to press this into the crease and go down towards the lash line. And then just up slightly, but really keeping the most intensity of this color just here in the outer corner. All right, let's add a little shimmer on the lid. This color right here called Honest is so pretty. It is like a shimmery, peachy pink. It's so brightening, and I think just makes your eyes look fresh and awake, which mine are not. I'm still a little bit jet lagged, as you will see in my vlog. I had some pretty early mornings and long travel days, and then long days of fun in between. So it was really good though. Okay, now what I want to do, and I like to do this even when I'm doing a light, fresh look, is I just still like to add a little bit of eyeliner. We're gonna smudge it though. So I'm using this Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen, it says, but it's a pencil, and it is in the shade Black Caviar. This is kind of a mix of brown, a little plum, and kind of a little black, so I think it's perfect. And these are super soft and smudgy, but once they set, they do not budge all day. They are amazing. So I'm just starting a little past halfway, just really kind of laying that pencil on the top of my lashes, because I want to just thicken the lash line here. And then as I get here to the outer corner, I'm going a little bit thicker, but nothing crazy. I'm going to take a little bit of that on the lower lash line too, just right into the roots of the lashes. And then I'm going to take one of my favorite brushes from BK Beauty. This is the 204. It's kind of flat, and I'm just going to use this to gently smudge the top of that line before it dries. So working one eye at a time. And I'm not taking this up very far. I just want to soften the edge. So really almost brushing down into the lashes. This is a light and fresh look. Don't want anything too dramatic. And then I'm going to go back into our palette with a little bit of this and just smudge this right here on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of that shadow, which is Passionate, and I'm going to just tap this right here in the outer corner, right over the top of the edge of that liner. And you can see it just makes it just that much softer right there. And I'll tap a little bit more right here. Okay, after cleaning up under the eyes with a little almond oil, we're gonna go in with foundation. And I just pulled this out the other day and I forgot how much I really enjoy this. This is the Revlon Candid, Photo Ready Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation. Whew. I have two shades here which I have mixed to get kind of my sunless tanner tone. So I have 310 Butterscotch Caramel and 320 Tawny. So I've mixed those two on my little makeup palette here. And I'm going to use the Morphe M439. I really like this dense brush. And I should mention the only thing on my face right now is my Now Hyaluronic Acid Serum. Use this every day. And then I've been recently testing this out. It's the Paula's Choice Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense Broad Spectrum SPF 30. This is the one for normal oily combination skin. And I tell you what, this has made such a difference in the summer months of keeping my foundation in place and also providing that much needed sun protection. So that's what I have on my face. And then right under here, I don't know about all of you all, but all this mask wearing is causing a few breakouts. So this has been very helpful to me. I'll do a video more on this, but this is the Paula's Choice 10% Azelaic Acid Booster. And I just have a little bit of this right here, and that cleared up my breakouts within a couple days. So anyway, we're gonna go in with foundation now. I'm gonna start off by just spreading a little bit. What I like about this foundation, it gives really good coverage, very natural, and it feels lightweight. And of course, it's at a drugstore price. So I still love my Kat Von D Portrait Foundation. That is another one that is super light, but I wanted to show you this one in case that one does not fall in your budget. This one is really nice too, and I used it the other day and it stayed so well throughout the day. For concealer, I still like to go in with a little bit of a fuller coverage, so I'm going to use my Beauty Blender Bounce. Airbrush Liquid Whip Concealer. You just need a tiny little bit. So literally like a little dot like that and that. And then I usually put one right here because I have some dark veins right there. And then I'm going to work that in with my fingers. If you get too much of this, it will crease. So once I purchased the full size of this, it took me a little bit of time to get used to this because I used it from a sample before and I couldn't figure out why did that work so well. Well, it's because there was hardly any in the sample and I was really having to work to get it out. So, and what I'm doing, I'm trying a new trick, a couple new tricks I've been seeing, and that is just to press and only go one direction, not rub back and forth, just go press in and work out, in and work out. And then just for a tiny little bit of extra brightening, I'm going to go in with the Revlon Candid Photo Ready Concealer in the shade 015 Light. And I am just going to go right here, the inner corner, here. And then I'm going to put a little bit down the bridge of the nose and right here in the center of the face. And then work that in with my fingers. Then I'll take my foundation brush, just press this in. For face powder, setting powder, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent, and I'm going to use the BK Beauty 105 brush. This is the beast. This is my favorite brush for setting powder because I really, with my combo skin, I really need the powder to really get pressed into my skin. So if you do not have combination skin, I will be showing you in an upcoming video the perfect brush for you. All right, so I've used a couple of drugstore items. Now I got to go with something real expensive because it's the only thing that works for me, and that's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade 2 Medium. And I'm going to use the Sedona Lace 313. This is just kind of a fluffy brush, and this is the only powder that really works for me to set my under eyes. So just make sure I don't have any creases. And here's what I'm going to do. Just press my brush in. I'm going to start here in the outer corners, and then with what's left on the brush, press out and press out. So, I mean, virtually hardly any powder, but it is just enough to set that and to keep my mascara or anything from smudging. For bronzer, I have something new. This is the Buxom Staycation Vibes Primer Infused Bronzer, and this is Backyard Bronze. So again, going with something that has staying power, something that's primer infused is always a good thing. So this is the, I think this is the lighter one of the two. It's a little bit cooler toned. You can see it has two shades there. I've only used this a couple times, but I'm going to use my Sigma F05. I'm going to go more in the outer corner, the outer ring of this bronzer first, and just use this to do a little tiny bit of some contouring here. You can see it's a really nice, natural, buildable formula, natural looking, buildable color. It does, however, have a tiny bit of fragrance. And I looked on the ingredients list and it's down towards the very end, so it's like the second to last ingredient, but it has kind of a little bit of a perfumey scent. That doesn't smell like vacation, right? Their last one that they had a couple years ago smelled like toasted coconut. Why didn't they do that again? right? So now that we have a little bit of shape to our face, nothing crazy, but just a little bit of shape. Now I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 103 brush, and I'm going to now just swirl both of those colors together. Just really lightly brush this on the cheeks. Of course, the Sweetie Pie bronzer would also be a good option, but I wanted to show you something different. I've been using that almost non-stop. And I'll use a little bit of that to contour my nose. For blush, I wanted to show you this and use it because not only is it good, but it is so adorable. So this is the BH Cosmetics Chocolate Cherry Truffle 4-color blush palette. Have to say, if Shirley's Box of Chocolates would ever do like an eyeshadow palette or something, it would be kind of like this. Look at how cute that is. Looks like 4 little truffles. So I'm going to use, I think, a combination of these 2 blushes. This one has a little bit of a sheen, and then the brighter pink is a little more on the matte side. So I'm going to dip in both of those, just lightly put those on the cheeks. We might go back and add a little more blush after our lip color. We'll see. I don't want to go too crazy. For highlighter, I think I'm going to go with something subtle. So I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Highlight 01. And I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills, I don't know, brush. It's the highlighter brush. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, I'll link it below. Just kind of wanted something a little more pinpointed. This is a great brush to really buff in your highlighter. Now, as always, after doing concealer, I like to go back and do my inner corner highlight for my eyes. So I'm going to use the Sigma E30 and go back to this shade right here, which is Honest. And I'm going to just put that in the inner corner. And then I'm also going to brush a little bit more onto the lid. And I'll probably go back with my finger now and just freshen that up, kind of intensify that a little bit. On to brows. I have almost finished up this Milani brow, what is it, Precision Brow. I have the shade 120 Caramel. This is all I have left, so we're gonna hope that this is enough to finish my brows. Okay, just made it. Now I'm gonna use the Thrive Cosmetics Instant Brow Fix, and this is a really good thing to help keep your brows and your brow color in place all day. It is water resistant, and I just really found this helped keep my brow color from sliding down my face. All right, let's get some mascara on. I'm using a couple of travel size ones because I took these on my trip. This is the Lancome Sills Booster XL Primer. And then I have a little mini It Cosmetics Superhero. And then I have my full size Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions for my lower lashes. All right, it's time to finish up our look with some lip products. So I went around the edge with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot because the balm that I'm using is quite emollient. So I'm going to also use just a little bit of this Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in Manic. Just tap that in with my finger. Okay, and now the final step. This is the Revlon, what are these called? Shine. Revlon Super Lustrous Shine lipsticks, and this is 002 in Beaming Strawberry. I saw Lip Gloss Leslie feature this in kind of a summer lipstick shades video, and I thought I gotta try that. So this is a little out of my comfort zone, but it's really pretty. So this is definitely a color that you can build up to be a little brighter if you want, but I just think this is so pretty and very wearable. And best of all, these actually have no scent whatsoever. So if you are scent sensitive, you won't mind these at all. All right, so here is our finished look. I feel like it's fresh, and yet everything is gonna stay put really well. I will have to reapply the lip product throughout the day, but as far as the foundation goes, the eyeshadow, the brows, everything is gonna stay put really well, even though it's gonna be well over 100 degrees today. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience as I took a little extra time off, but it's so good to be back, and I will see you again soon. Bye.